as we get older, as I'm getting older, I think my patience with dating men is going down. And I am not against men. I actually really like men in general. I am not a sexist feminist. If you follow my content, you know. But recently I said, you know what? I'm getting back into dating and stuff. So purposefully, with an intent. So I downloaded Hinge. And yes, I've said before that, you know, I only want to date organically, but I wanted to give online dating a shot. How bad can it go, right? So I matched with a guy, and I was quick to delete the app in a week, so I'm no longer on Hinge. But this guy and I matched, and the first thing that he tells me is, hey, how are you and stuff. And I said, how are you, nice to match with you, stuff like that. And then he says, can I take you out? So before I could say yes, or maybe I just said, yeah, what you thinking, something like that, he said, okay, so I'm not looking to sponsor your meal, or I'm not looking for a woman who's looking for a meal ticket. And I was like, hold up. For me, I'm not even going on a date with a guy if it's a first date for dinner, breakfast, or lunch. I like to go for coffee dates because I don't have time to waste, and I don't know if we're going to match. I don't know what I see outside. I don't know if I like you physically, emotionally, mentally. So, hey, I like coffee runs, okay, for first date, and I'll pay for mine, you pay for yours, because at the end of the day, I know there's this thing going on that the men should pay for the women. Excuse you, why? Because I've always believed that if I'm asking a guy out on a date, which I never have, I will pay. But if a guy is asking me out on a date, I am leaving and dropping things. So, of course, I am making time for this date that you have proposed to me. So I'm expecting that you're coming with a plan, right? But I'm not going to throw a fit or make a scene. Is self-respect that, oh, if you're not going to pay. I don't even know why would anyone bring that up. And that goes for men too. If a woman is asking a man on a date, the man has to make time for this woman and for this date because she initiated it. So I just believe whoever initiates this date has to pay, be it first or last date. But that brought me to a point as to why are men so scared to take a woman out on a date these days. And I think it's a lot of men and women in their toxic masculine and toxic feminine energy who go on these dates only with an expectation of being paid for or of being sponsored. And if it's not about being sponsored, the man will expect the woman to go home with him, or vice versa, wherever it fits, right? And for me, I am not looking for a man who wants princess treatment, but at the same time, I will give a man the grace that he wouldn't want a woman who's expecting princess treatment right on the first fucking date. He doesn't know you. And as a woman, she doesn't know fucking you. So why can't dating just be fun? And hey, no shade, no hate to those type of people who are dating with an expectation of, you know what, I want to be a passenger princess. I want to be picked up on a fucking Mercedes Benz and those ultra cool cars, go to ultra expensive restaurants and stuff. Because for me, if I don't mesh with you, I can't take another 5 minutes looking at your face or hearing your voice, because it'll show on my face that I'm bored as And my point being, it's sad that dating has come to a place where it's a sense of competition, and the female is trying to safeguard herself, if you relate with me, and the males are trying to safeguard themselves and their wallets, who can relate. But the unfortunate thing is, when women like us don't meet men like them, who both have experienced this type of treatment from the opposite sex that they're dating, because a good man will find a woman or will have an experience with a woman who's just looking for a meal ticket, who can take her to Sephora and buy shit, who can take her for expensive fucking vacations, who can buy her a good meal in a 5-star restaurant and shit like that. And we come across men who want to take us home the first night. Sometimes men are really cheap, and men who are playing the fucking princess, and they feel that putting themselves out there for a woman that they want to go after and actually want to date is being a simp. So they want to play hard to fucking get. And I mean, men are masculine in nature, and when I think about dating, I do believe that there is a healthy level of pursuit that masculine men will do to pursue the woman of his dreams. And I'm not mean being a community dick. That's not the crowd. But unfortunately, somehow, we never meet each other. And so I was quick to delete the app because I wasn't going to get into a conversation where I have to get into the psyche of like, why do you say this? Why do you say that? Because I don't know him from Adams, but I do have to give him grace that he probably has had a really bad experience with a woman or women in general who only used him for money, meals, shopping. So he was quick to put me in a box where I'm also looking for the same thing. So he kind of came forward with that speech. And for me, it didn't sit well with me because for me, I think self-esteem and self-respect comes first. And I don't need somebody else's money because I don't know how he's making his money. So I don't want that bad juju on me anyways. So that being said, it's for men and women like you and I. We try to put ourselves out there, try to date intentionally. But when we even try to date intentionally, we come across the men and women in this day and age, grown men and women who are scorned. Of course, I'd like to highlight the fact that you and I were also scorned at one point, and therefore we took a break from dating. And I'm talking about people who've taken a break from dating for years, okay? And we've not even spoken to the opposite sex in a sexual way because we were trying to heal some things within ourselves, right? And that's because we were scorned by a person who was scorned, and because they projected their hurt on us, they ruined us in the relationship. And today, when we are trying to get back into dating, I just want to think about where we are as a collective, because it's not even the first date, and these men and these women have these expectations, and if you don't reach these expectations, they're like, oh, you're less of a fucking man, you're less of a fucking woman. But these people don't even know you and me, and we don't even know them because it's the first fucking date. So why can't we see that as just two friends meeting for the first time to see if we vibe? And I think it all boils down to our mindset when it comes to going on first dates, who want to date intentionally and with a purpose, with a goal in mind. Because I'm sure you and I have been scorned by players who gave us a false narrative about everything, and everything turned out to be a lie about them. And they moved on like nothing ever fucking happened. Males or females, and have no accountability, playing the victim. So today, if you're changing our patterns, I really want to get into the science of dating and why people behave the way they behave, why men behave the way they behave, why women behave the way they behave, because there's this sense of entitlement among women saying, I am the fucking price because I'm a woman, and you as a man should pay these 7 meals that you ordered. You know what I mean? And that's embarrassing, it's cheap, and what are you doing? And even as men, why do you wanna take a woman home with an expectation that she will have sex with you if you spend on her? So just on the first few dates, you wanna buy her Gucci, Prada, Chanel, show her the world and spend bills on her, and then get mad that she's not sleeping with you. Or even if it's the first date, you will see if you want to pay for the meal, whatever it may be, only if she goes home with you. I'm just giving examples because I don't think there ever was that competition between males and females, because I come from a time where men were genuinely interested in a woman and they wanted to make it special for a woman because that's the male instinct, that I want to take her out, I want to make her feel good about herself. But that should come from within for him. A woman should never tell the man, oh, you should pay for me because you're taking me out. If it's coming there to that point, and I'm talking about initial dates, yeah, because in the initial dates, like the first few dates, I would never want to tell a man what he should do, because I think I and you have learned that if we have to tell a man what he should do, and if it's not coming from within, he's not serious about it, or he's just not gonna do it, because you'll always have to gonna be telling him what you're expecting out of him. And same for men. A man should never expect all these things from a woman, because she is not an object that you get gratification from, but she's an actual fucking human being. And if you're only looking at something transactional, then this is not the right woman for you. And same applies for women. But unfortunately today, everybody is dating from a fear mindset or from a greed mindset. And that shows, and that rubs us the wrong way. Men and women like this who do not take accountability, and they'll come for you, they'll come for me like, who the fuck you think you is, and shit like that. This is not a jab at them, but there's many men and women like you and I who have just stayed single for years and years, who didn't want to get back into dating. You know, we're just focusing on our life, but somehow we do want to have a partner. But it's become so hard to date with intentions now, because even if we have the right intentions, even if we have self-respect, self-esteem that comes above everything, we don't want nothing to do with them and their resources, right? And we do not want to share our bodies with any Tom, Dick, Harry. And as a man, you will not want to share your body with any Tom, Dick, Harry female version. So it all boils down to we sitting at home today, just minding our business, passively trying to date again. We don't meet each other. And we've been in situations where we've dealt with men and women like this in the past, and now we are scorned because we know that if we keep telling them from the first date onward of what we want, what we expect, with an expectation of getting this, and that's why you're getting it, because you're doing these things for her or him, then that becomes a pattern. And then yes, of course we get the relationship, but the same man, the same woman is in a relationship with many others. Or it never turns into a commitment. Why? Because if you go back to the roots, if we go back to the beginning, it was always them or us trying to make something happen. And by telling them from the first date onward, this is what I want, this is what I expect. So they do exactly what you want and what you say till they have you, or you keep doing what they want to please them till you have them. And then now you're stuck in a relationship where you're constantly telling each other what you expect, and now it's become a norm. So deep within, none of us are happy because we feel something is missing, something is empty, and then we argue that we always have to tell you. And then once we get comfortable, the same way how the man got you, the same way how the woman got you, that's no longer happening because now they have us, or they have you. And the problem here is getting into dating again. At least I can speak for myself when I'm trying to. For me, I'm not expecting some fancy dinner. Does not mean that I don't want that, but I want it from my husband. I want it from my man. I want to have sex with my husband. And for me, if a man is expecting me to go to bed with him on the first date, the second date, that tells me that this man doesn't respect his body. And if a woman as a man is coming up to you just for money and the material things, that should tell you that woman is fucking hollow. But then again, men like this and women like this will benefit from each other a lot, because the man is getting sex from her and the woman is getting everything that she wants from him. And that's great, and that's an amazing relationship. So I'm not here to bash anybody, but at the end of the day, when it comes to you and me, I don't think I want to waste another single minute just because the man is giving me all these things. But I'm not clicking with him. He doesn't have morals. He doesn't have values. He doesn't respect himself. And yes, you and I have been in places where we made these mistakes before. So therefore, at least I can speak for myself. I've taken a break. And today, my whole outlook on dating is very different, because we keep saying, you know, I want a man. I want a masculine man. I am the prize. Why the fuck are you the prize? And a man or woman is a prize. It's not just the woman, I feel. It's the man who's also the prize in a healthy relationship. But a healthy relationship starts from you both really getting to know each other for each other. And without involving, I think, the carnal pleasures, the sexual pleasures, the materialistic pleasures. Because at the end of the day, you have to wake up next to this man, you have to wake up next to this woman every fucking day of your life if you do commit. And yes, that also does not mean I am low maintenance. That does not mean you as a woman, you're low maintenance. But it's just that we know our audience, and men like you know your audience, and you will do these things, and I will expect these things from my partner, and you will expect it from your partner, and you'll want to do these things with your partner. Not every Tom, Dick, Harry. And that's what I'm trying to say. So for women like us, from a woman perspective, if I'm going on dates, I don't want to get into a man's pocket who I've not known since yesterday. No. Like if I'm going on first few dates, firstly, like I said, I don't know how he's making his money. And I do think that when people spend money on us, they have a control on us in some way, shape or form. Because it's their money. It's not our money. It's nothing is joint. And even as men, why do you think this woman should spread her legs for you? Who the fuck are you? Just because you're taking her. I'm sorry to say, not every woman is animalistic. And not every woman is expecting something out of you. Because for me, and some people like me, we want to connect mentally, we want to connect spiritually, we want to connect emotionally. You know, do I find you attractive with all your clothes on? Do I find you attractive when you're just speaking? Do I find you attractive when we're just doing nothing? Can we bear each other when there's nothing around us, when there's dead silence? Can we sit with each other? Especially in the initial dating phase, men and women have these expectations about he should do this, she should do this. Why? We are fucking strangers. So let's just keep it at that. And at least for me, I don't have time, energy to waste. And I know men and women who've taken a break from dating and have gone inward and have literally made time for themselves and their healing and God. When we are even going on a date, it's us carving time out just to see if something clicks or not. So I don't think you and I are even dating with an intention of let me see if he's gonna pay for 7 meals that I'll order, 7 different types of dishes, or let me see if I can sleep with her at the end of this meal. What the fuck? Who thinks so short term? And that means these people have a lot of time in their hands. And power to them. But it rubs me the wrong way when people box you and me. And that's when I know that, online dating is probably not for me, because I don't have the time. And not just online dating, just dating without intention is not for me, was never for me. But I feel in the past, you and I have been victims where we got with men and women like this who had these expectations out of us, and we just went with it and we never voiced what we wanted. Or men like you just went with women who are just looking at your wallet and your DICK for some pleasure financially and sexually, and you are good with it because we just wanted to date so desperately, and we just tried to turn every Tom, Dick, Harry into commitment. But it all ended badly. And today, when we have these expectations, now we are finally voicing, we get a lot of hate from the exact men and women that we don't want to be like. But we're not hating on those women. That's their thing. Power to them, because they'll always find each other, and I hope they find each other. And nor are we hating on those type of men who are flashy as fuck, but have nothing to offer once you get into a relationship. Because at the end of the day, we need to know our audience. And I think it's a lesson for me, at least, and for who resonate, that it was never the man or the woman's fault, because they like what they like. Their expectation is what their expectations are. But I just feel like if you don't agree with the crowd who does not believe in that, at least respect our opinions. Because it's not about you. If you exist, we exist too. So let's coexist together. And all I can do and you can do is hope and pray that we find a man or a woman who values her and his time, his body, her energy enough to not have these unwarranted expectations from another. And just look at dating from a point of respect respect your own time, another man, another woman's time, and just know and ask yourself, are you interested in him? Are you interested in her? Really? To see them again? Do you think that they should have that control on you by them spending on you like hundreds, thousands of dollars on the first or the fourth or the fifth date till nothing is solidified? And you as a man, is it worth it to just go to bed with this woman and just spend on her and get some sex off her? Are you a sellout? Because at the end of the day, I know you and I can relate with each other because we don't want that. We would never take it personal now when a man or a woman would put us in a box because they've had bad experiences with the opposite sex. Because like I said, if women like you exist, women with different expectations also exist who voice it very openly and without any shame. And same for men. If men like you exist, men like that also exist who voice their opinion very shamelessly. And that's okay because it's their values. So if we can respect them in this way, I hope that they can come around to respect us and our opinions and our values as well, because I hope that you and I are not taken for low maintenance and pushed over, because that's happened already because we were quiet for too long. So now you say your expectations and I'll say my expectations and we'll just see if we vibe or not. And if we don't, that's cool. Bye. So yeah, both of us is the prize in the relationship, but let it get to the relationship first for him to do those things for you. And let it get to a relationship first for her to do those things for you. Because you can't expect a wifey or husband material on the first fucking date. Because you're a damn stranger. So why would anybody open their legs for you? And why would anybody open their fucking wallets for you? Example. But to each their own, power to you. So don't come hating on me, because I return that hate back to you. But this is my truth. And there's respect, which is given and taken. So if we give you respect and your way of living, we expect the same. So don't give us the hate, but it's just my thought process. And if I think like this, I know there are many men and women who think like this, because many of us are off the dating scene because of this. So I hope we all find our own audience and we find our mate within our audience. And I think all of that becomes easy when we just tell them exactly what we expect on the first date. So if on the first date she's expecting you to spend $1 million, $100,000, $100, multiple dollars on her and just do everything material, well, that's her vibe, that's her lifestyle. If you can't do that, don't ask her out on a date. And for men, if your expectation is having sex and doing something transactional and that's why you're taking this woman on a date, say it. That's what the expectation is. Because then you know if she is of the same audience that you're looking for or not. That's it. Because to each his own. And for us, if that's not the audience we want to go for, it's best that we voice it now like I am. Because honestly, I just miss being friends with the opposite sex. I hope that men and women can just come back to respecting and truly loving each other and actually getting excited about dates because you want to get to know each other. And I think for you and us, our own time, our own energy, our own self-respect is so high that we'll naturally respect another person and expect the same from them. And if that's where you are and I am, I think we will no longer make that mistake of just going with the flow when we were never okay with going with the flow. So let everybody find each other as they're supposed to, because at the end of the day, you are what you are, and you find and you make life of who you are. Let that resonate. I love you.